Hey guys, Rorius here. I am live. Bonjour. I finally set it up. I got it working. Actually, I'm curious as to what it looks like when I look at my chat. I never did test what it looks like when I'm looking at my chat. I'm a VTuber now. Yay. I realize that I'm probably looking quite down when I'm looking at my chat, so everyone can thank Digits for my new setup. Without nosiest. I have a nose. It's there. It's there's a little line there. I have a nose. Yeah, haven't had a good chance to like properly calibrate the setup. There'd be a nose, it'd be subtle, yeah. This is a virtual Rorius. Yeah, I think when I'm looking at the chat, my eyes get quite closed because I calibrate it for looking directly at the screen. I didn't think about the fact that my chat is on a different screen. Uh, I need to get my eyes more open. Is VTuber arc? Yep, it's my VTuber arc. The nose is perfectly visible. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, every time I scratch my face, I'm sure it does weird stuff. Oh no, it actually handles it really well. Alright, Internet Explorer for Unix. We're doing our reaction stream. Alright. What is this?
You
Things
know,
that shouldn't
when I
exist.
teased Internet Explorer for Unix at the end of my Solaris 7 video, I knew I was going to get a reaction. After all, the mind boggles at such a strange sight that one can only hope for a logical explanation on why such a thing exists. I thought much the same in 2012 when I had a brief opportunity to play with IE for Unix via X11 forwarding, which is how I made this cursed screenshot. Now, 9 years later, I have finally taken the time to dig in, explore, and explain this truly cursed piece of software. Now, I could have just left you all hang, but you know, I've learned that people like watching me suffer, so let's just rip off the band-aid and dive right in. For anyone who's familiar with Microsoft of the 90s, it seems like Internet for Unix is something that just really shouldn't exist. In fact, I spent hours following trails of breadcrumbs in an effort to ultimately piece this mystery together. As always, this is your host and Commander, and today we're going to take a strange trip
I'm so curious
down
as
a very
to
weird and windy road. Now, I could start with the dry history, but given I've flashed the goods, so to speak, let's take a break from tradition and
let's
just
introduce
start
ourselves.
with the
My name is
trials and
Zachary Hart.
tribulations relating
I
to the
am Virtual
installation.
Rorius.
Now, if you watched my Solaris 7 video, it would seem like this would be a relatively simple task, right? Well, no, it's not. For that 10-second clip, I ended up spending the better part of the day looking for system patches and then debugging multiple
Did I not?
failures.
It
all
is. Yeah.
starts instantly
That's
enough with
that's
the
my bad.
installer, which mostly wants
Digits
to
helped
know
me a
if you
lot
want
with
to
setting
make
this up,
Internet
but I
Explorer your
haven't
default
fully
web
calibrated
browser,
it.
and if you want to install Outlook Express.
I think to keep
In
my
keeping
because
with the pain and suffering.
something that is a problem with me is that my eyes, I keep them naturally very closed. I have very slit eyes naturally. You can't see my hands. Um, I have very like narrow space between upper and lower eyelid, and so tracking software always struggles with my eyes. Sometimes it does a winking. It can be picky. Yeah, and so like the difference between my eyes fully open and then fully closed is very small. So yeah, the when I blink, sorry, when I blink, a lot of the times the software thinks I'm winking because it doesn't detect one of the eyes.
I of course said yes here. This was, of course, the point where it all started going downhill. Trying to launch IE via the iExplorer command simply errors out complaining that system patches are
I'm getting a
missing.
call. 1 second, guys. Keep
That
watching.
isn't entirely surprising since Solaris applications have runtime patch dependencies. That being said, installing updates on Solaris is, well, it's an experience. That's the best way I can describe it. System updates are distributed as both individual patches and in large bundles.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm gonna have to. My my partner needs something pretty urgently, so I'm gonna have to pause things for a second. We're only 6 minutes into the stream, and I'm already having to step away. Um, and say earlier that you want wink from left to right. I wink from like left to right. It's interesting because if I close my eyes like normally, or just half close them, they close like normally. But I think it's just I blink too fast. um. So yeah. Entertain yourselves. Speak amongst yourselves for a bit. I'm gonna go do a thing for Mark. I'll be right back. Oh God. How did I do that again? What's the what's the command? I forgot what the command is. It's not working. Damn it, I can't get it to work. What did I do? How did I do that? Ooh. It's not detecting my hands. Um, is there a manual override? Yeah, I'm doing that and it's not working. Is it left hand? Oh, it's left hand, that's why. I was doing it with my right hand. Okay. Hold up, guys. I'll be right back. I'm dead. I am dead now. Work experience. Work experience. Fuck. Sorry about that. I have returned. Eh. Oh, I got another email. 1 second. You guys can hear me. That's good. All right. Oh. There. Oh, 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 I got rid of it for a second. There we go. It's like, it's me doing stuff in front of the camera accidentally. Constantly accidentally activating those. Alright, we're back to
Those
it.
known as patch clusters. These are
Oh,
roughly
that's right.
equivalent to Microsoft hotfixes and service packs, respectively.
There we
To
go.
actually perform the update, the system needs to be shut down to single user mode, after which the install cluster command can be used. This begins a very slow process in which patch add attempts to install
I like the music
each
in the
part
background of this
cluster.
video.
During this process, you'll get cryptic error messages relating to errors 2 and 8,
Yeah.
which is
I
really
stepped
just
away like
patch
you did,
adds where they're
Mecha.
saying that the patch is either already installed or it's simply not needed. After nearly an hour of waiting, we're finally ready to reboot and try this again. With a fully patched system, one might hope that our problems would just magically go away, right? Well, no. iExplorer now complains that our patches are too new, and then promptly core dumps. Then, just to add insult to injury, the system kernel panicked. And yes, those two things did in fact happen back to back. It's at this point that I realized that we are on an express bus to hell. Still, I wasn't giving up here. By checking the IE host platform
I keep
log,
looking at
we
my
can find
avatar.
the exact patch number and revision that IE for Unix seems to require. Furthermore, in the user local Microsoft directory, I found this script called MW-check platform, which appears to do a more comprehensive system check. It specifically shows which patches are certified for use and even includes a description of what they do. By sheer dumb luck, I was able to find an archive of almost all the published Solaris 7 patches, including the exact revisions wanted by IE
Yeah,
for Unix.
happy, sad, and mad. Yeah.
Finally, progress. Sorta. As it turns out, I couldn't easily just downgrade a few patches. Instead, I needed to do yet another clean install, and then only install the patches listed in the check script. After all that, we finally get something new. I don't think I've ever been more excited to see a license agreement screen in my life. That, my good folks, is what defines winning when dealing with this sort of project. We can now take a closer look at what IE for Unix actually is. Comparing Internet Explorer 5 for Windows side by side, they look almost identical.
Virtual Rose became mad Virtual
Digging
Rose. Yep.
deeper begins to show that this does appear to be a complete port of Internet Explorer, albeit with some Unix-specific changes. For example, Microsoft appears to have split the difference between Vi and Emacs users as for selecting default editors. I'm not sure that this was a real solution to the editor wars, but I suppose it's to Microsoft's credit that an attempt was made.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, I'd
well, maybe
love to tell you how
I should leave
IE
it
for Unix
in a
performs,
minute.
especially in comparison to the Windows version, but, well, there's a problem with that. The ugly truth is that it's not exactly easy to evaluate an early 2000s web browser in 2021, since the web as a whole has moved on, and very little will work as is.
Oh, so true.
I am actually amazed
I hadn't thought about that.
Microsoft.com renders at all. NetHack.org is one of the very few sites that I know that will render properly. In fact, I was even able to download files which brought up a dialog box that I have not seen in many years. From what I can tell, IE for Unix seems relatively fast and responsive, especially compared to Netscape, but there are some hiccups here and there. For one, neither FTP nor Gopher support appears to be present. While Gopher is excusable, a lack of FTP feels very unusual for the time period. Furthermore, both of these work just
Ooh.
fine in the Windows version. I couldn't find any mention of these features in the help or README files, so I'm not certain if they're supposed to be present or not. That being said, for the use of Tenox's web rendering proxy, it is, at least to an extent, possible to use IE for Unix on the modern internet.
That's fascinating. Anyway, we should leave it there. We won't watch the whole video. It's just fascinating to see. I've been on a real retro kick recently, and I love looking at old stuff from like the 90s. Old versions of Windows and stuff like that. Old games that used to run on 95. Anyway, how to cook Zelda dishes in real life.
For 4 years, Blue Apron has revolutionized home cooking by sending fresh ingredients directly to your door. And today we are proud to announce our new
You've been on a vaporwave
Zelda-inspired fall
phase?
menu.
Ah,
Now
yeah.
you can follow the original
That's like an
cooking recipes
80s.
from Breath of the Wild using our
Yeah.
own farm fresh ingredients shipped right to
Late
your
80s,
door.
early 90s,
Let's take
yeah.
a look. Our first feature is the tough fish and mushroom skewer. It's a staple dish in Zelda cooking and gives you a defensive boost after eating. The recipe calls for 2 armored carp and 3 Hylian mushrooms.
Pardon me. I was gonna say, that's a really bad idea. It's gonna be fairly tasteless. It was just boiled.
In this dish, the golden
Did he
brown
even
carp
take the
pairs with pearls
scales
and
off that
mushrooms for a
fish?
tangy, sweet contrast and a bit of crunch in every bite. Blue Apron's mushrooms and carp come directly from family-run farms for maximum freshness, so you can't resist taking just one more bite. Mighty Fried Bananas is one of Link's favorite dishes,
Oh,
so we
awesome
knew it
tofu.
had to
How'd you
be
find
included
it?
in our menu. The 3 bananas are sourced from artisanal
Did you
Unix
finish the
growers, and
chaos
Tabantha wheat
full
is made
custom
with
mode?
coarse wheat flour. The final ingredient, cane sugar, gives the dish its whip of flavor.
Boiled bananas. They're not really fried.
For this meal, the mighty banana peels are drizzled in sugar.
You
and
can't
get
actually eat
vibrant
banana
lift
peels,
from
so-
the Tabantha wheat. We recommend pairing this with a 2017 Vermentino wine to cut the richness of the banana without overpowering the flavor of the wheat. Sneaky Mute Skewer is one of our most unique dishes since it uses silent princesses to give you a sneaky bonus. The recipe calls for 1 raw meat, 1 raw bird drumstick, and 3 silent princesses. Silent princesses are not real.
I was gonna
But
say.
Blue Apron will send
Orchid.
you some orchids that look really similar, and we think
Ah.
it'll have the same effect.
I was gonna say, you want to
The
make
star
sure
of
that
this
those...
meal is the silent princess.
that meat
it's
is
a delicate dish
fully
that
cooked.
looks unique and tastes phenomenal. Baked apples are even simpler. Our farm fresh apples.
Some flowers are
go
edible. I don't know about
directly onto the
orchids.
Fire to create a delicious baked apple.
It was pretty gross.
We are very
Gross? Oh,
excited to
okay.
reveal our signature dish.
I thought that one would
Carrot
actually be one
Bacon.
that
It
works.
includes rare Endura carrots, so the result gives you a stamina boost.
Yeah, I don't know
The
if orchids
recipe
are safe to
calls
eat or
for
not.
2
Some
Endura
flowers are
carrots,
poisonous and
cane
some are
sugar,
edible, so
goat
you never
butter,
know.
And Tabantha wheat.
That apple is notably raw, my dude. Yeah. I do wonder if they're actually cooking these
When we
acceptably.
consulted with our
Once
top
again, that
chefs,
carrot
they
is
said
raw.
this is an
He hasn't even
unorthodox
cooked
way
it.
to make a carrot cake, but none of them could argue with
Does
the
he know how to
results.
cook
The
any?
buttery
I'm sure he
cake
does.
crust
He's
is
just doing this for
loaded
the-
with caramelized sweetness, and
He's just
the
doing
carrot
this for the-
flavor
for the
shines
meme of it
through,
all.
even with the entire stick of butter on top. To quote Mary Berry from the Great British Bake Off, "It's a good sponge, ain't it, mate?"
Wow.
I don't know what that was.
And our fall menu finale,
She doesn't
the
sound like
hearty
that.
simmered fruit. This meal has a fruit base, but the key is our hearty radish.
I would need a
and
flower to
hearty
begin with.
durian.
Well, some
Both
flowers
fruits
are
rare,
edible, and
but
some
will
flowers
give
are
you
actually
bonus
used in
temporary
cooking.
hearts by eating them. Normal hardy durians are plentiful, and our chefs chose large white radishes instead of red to give the dish maximum flavor.
Some cow gonna burn his house down. Like, he's gonna hurt someone or himself. He's gonna break his oven if he's not careful. Ugh.
This meal is some ratatouille shit. You'll be transported back to your childhood.
Oh my god.
To radish and durian after a long day of school. The spicy
man-
radish might look modest.
This man is
but
insane.
It has flavor fit for the king of Hyrule. And the durian itself is loaded with gobs of chunky snot.
Oh,
that
durian
drops
is
your mouth into
awful.
a flavored toilet. So sign up for Blue Apron Zelda menu today. We'll send all the shit directly to your house for
Don't
like
think
10
I'd eat a
bucks,
raw
and
radish,
you'll
neither.
never go hungry again in your fight to save Hyrule.
Ugh.
Blue Apron. Discover what's cooking.
Is that a real Blue Apron ad? I'm assuming it's not in any way, shape, or form. Just had to check. Yeah, there's no Blue Apron links or anything. Links. Ugh. But it'd be interesting if Blue Apron did do a thing like that. But yeah, this man's just trying to get himself killed. Eating raw food. Like that eating the orchid from that particular recipe. Not only am I not sure if orchid is even safe to eat, but there was raw chicken in that stew. If he didn't cook it thoroughly enough, then who knows what could have happened to there. I'm going to guess that the chicken and the meat was cooked prior. Like, he throws the raw stuff in, and then he gets cooked stuff for the final serving. But none of the rest of it was like that. The rest of it was all just raw. Less of a chance of burning the house down. Yeah, it's very stupid, like he said at the end, yeah. I made a realistic Lego man, and I'm sorry.
Hey folks, my name is Adam and I like to make tiny nerdy things. And sometimes when I'm stressed out, I like to relax with a little Lego. Unfortunately, I don't have any on hand, so I had to make my own.
It's really quiet.
Of course, I don't want to tread on the Lego group's toes, so I'm going to make mine a little bigger than usual. And to save on clay, I'm going to build the core out of aluminium foil, then cover it in a thin layer of clay. Then I'll bake that till I've got a rock solid center.
Don't try this at home. Don't try the previous video at home, yes.
Wire on the sides will function as the arm bones, and a couple wires in the bottom will be his leg bones. Then I can mount him on a block and get to work on building up the fleshy bits. Lego Man Anatomy leans towards a pretty
Lego Man
bulky,
on fleshy.
stocky build, but I want this to be
They
as
shouldn't
accurate
have
as
fleshy
possible
bits.
to a normal Lego Man minifig. Really, I want you to look at this when it's finished and think, oh, Adam's just playing with everyday, run-of-the-mill Legos? How totally normal. He must be a very sane and very reasonable person. To that end, I'm going to make sure his legs are roughly as thick as his body and roughly the same length. Then I'll smooth everything out and start adding the totally normal details like kneecaps and ankles. Of course, in keeping with that stocky leg anatomy, I want to make sure that I smooth these in so they're just barely noticeable. Again, I don't want this to look weird. I'm just trying to make it a slightly larger version of a Lego man, but with a little more detail that's usually obscured on the smaller figures. For instance, most Lego men are wearing a onesie that covers their feet, but if you catch them without their leggings, you'll find that they have a single large toe. Obviously, with that much toe in the game, you're going to have an awful lot of toe wrinkle around the area as well. Of course, with a stocky, chubby leg like that, you'd expect a lot of leg wrinkles too. Now, Lego men aren't monsters after all, so there's no claws here, just a single big toenail. Of course, a toenail that big is going to be hard to take care of, so I expect it to be pretty banged up. I mean, maybe that's why they're always covering them up. I'll bulk out his belly a bit by giving him a nice, natural, healthy paunch, then add some less than muscular pecs. Now, there's a lot of body types in the Lego world, so I wanted to get an average body type, which is probably pretty close to a dad bod. Oh, and I gave him a belly button too, which I guess leads to a lot of questions I'm unwilling to answer. Finally, I'll add a little squishy coin of clay and blend that into his chest so that I have a neck upon which to attach his head.
I like this tool he has.
Same as with the body, I'll
The
start
blue
by
tool.
making myself an aluminium foil
Softens
skull,
everything.
then rolling myself an oversized piece of clay sushi before cutting the edges off and blending it all in. Now, I noticed there was a decent amount of air trapped between the clay and the foil, and if I don't get it out, then it will expand in the oven, causing pops and cracks in the clay. So I've got a hole in the top of the head to give the hot air somewhere to escape to. Then I can attach the head to the neck, blend it in, and then because this is a Lego man, I'll give him my apple. Finally, I realized that if I'm gonna give him a belly button, then I really ought to give him some nipples. You know, for continuity. These are gonna get covered up by a shirt later anyways, but this way you know they're there and we can all suffer together. Using my ball stylus, I'll poke a couple of eye sockets into appropriately eye sockety areas, then carve a starting line for his mouth. I've pre-baked a couple eyeballs of clay which get fitted into his face, then I can get to work on bulking out the facial details. As I mentioned before, a lot of the detail gets lost at the usual scale with Legos, which is why I wanted to make this guy a little bit bigger. It's also why you can't really see any of the wrinkles and skin textures at that scale, so I'm gonna really spend some extra time highlighting them here.
Yeah, this is gonna be nightmarish. Nightmare fuel, isn't it? I mean, I knew what I was getting into just from the thumbnail. He's like a Mudokan from Abe's Odyssey, Abe's Exodus. The noseless face.
With the face finished, I baked everything to lock it in place so I can get to work adding his arms.
It's so
The arms
upsetting.
themselves are pretty uninteresting, as they're just clay sausages.
I
that
like
get
his
stuck
chubby
in the
little
bone
body, though.
and bent into the correct angle.
I like
On
his
the
fat
other
little body.
his hands need a bit of attention.
Says
Basically,
me.
the Lego man hand is less a hand and more a claw with two thumbs. And like any good double-thumbed claw hand, it's gonna need a healthy nail bed,
Oh, no.
a good amount of wrinkles on top of the knuckles, some skin folds inside the thumb palms, and of course, a set of beautifully manicured thumbnails. Finally, to add the fingerprint texture to the thumbs, I'm gonna use my
Why are
fingertips.
humans so
This scale is
disgusting?
pretty much spot on, though it does mean that if this Lego man ever comes to life and commits a crime, there's a very real chance that I'll get framed for it. Otherwise, all that's left to do is add the little connector on top of his head, and the sculpting is all but finished, which means it's time to move on to the painting, which means it's time to prime him white.
So upsetting.
Now, in sticking with that true to the original design that I'm going for, I want to end with the jaundicey yellow skin tone so often associated with minifigs. However, I still want it to have a nice fleshy look, so I'm going to start by covering it with a pinkish
Oh, no.
skin tone as a base coat. I'll follow that up
thought
by
it was another
applying
channel.
a healthy coat of very thin yellow over top, then sponging it away. This will help to remove the brush strokes, prevents the yellow from building up in the flat surfaces, but allows it to run into the cracks and crevices. Plus, it's kind of like I'm applying makeup, and those makeup tutorials get mad views. I'll slowly work my way through a series of similar but not
Yeah,
quite
sorry,
the
you're
same
late.
shades of yellow to help give
Oh, what
my
happened to
Lego
Rorius?
man
He's
skin
virtual
a bit of
now.
depth, all the while working to tone that yellow down to a slightly fleshier look. Then I'll come back through and add some darker highlights to all the wrinkles and continue.
I thought you were
to
asking
sponge
what's going
away
on
any
on the
excess.
screen, which
The
would
goal
be a
here is
valid
to give it a
question.
nearly imperceptible shading, or at least in hindsight that's the goal, since it makes it sound like what you're seeing is intentional and not just me making it up as I go along. With skin tones finished and looking not the least bit horrifying, I can begin painting the details, starting with the sextet of fingernails and toenails. I ended up adding a bit more grime to his toenails later on, which I kind of regret since I'm actually really happy with how they turned out here. I suppose I could go back and repaint them at any time, but knowing myself, I'm not gonna. I'll give his mouth an internal coat of black, then do the same, though externally, to his eyeballs before touching up his lips with a little lip gloss.
Oh,
It's time
so
to cover up
creepy.
his shame. To cut down on painting time later, I'm going to make his clothes out of colored cosplay, starting with blue for his blue jeans. Of course, if I want him to have blue jeans, I'm going to need some good jean texture. Fortunately, I've got this pile of blackout fabric, which is offcuts from my glamour shot backdrops, and has a pretty solid looking blue jean texture. I'll cut a strip of it out and lay a flat sheet of blue clay on top of it so that I can run them both through my pasta machine at the same time, leaving me with a pretty convincing fabric texture.
Yeah, that's good.
Then I can cut it into strips and build myself a pair of
VTuber
jeans.
Rorius will
It's
haunt
kinda
your
like
nightmares.
making jean shorts, but in
What about the
reverse and
friggin'
also
nightmare
nothing like that.
Lego man
Basically,
on
I'll just
screen?
cut out little strips and stick it onto my Lego man until I've got all the leg parts covered that I want covered. While the overall goal is for this to be indistinguishable from a normal minifig, I'm not going to be covering up his feet, instead opting
This
for
is
that
so-
shoeless look.
Oh,
I considered
this-
making him some sandals, but I couldn't
this
decide
Lego
on
man
what
is
style
so
to go with. I suppose a
upsetting.
pair of Birkenstocks would probably look pretty smart, but maybe I'll do that next time.
Oh, hey Rocky.
At this point, I've got his jeans assembled, and I can start adding the wrinkles and folds by way of little wormy dealies attached strategically where the wrinkles would be. For reference, I just looked up chubby babies wearing jeans and copied where the wrinkles and folds sit.
Chubby
Quick dab of
babies.
fabric will redo my textures, and I can get to work adding the trouser details. Now, in previous videos, I've had some people comment on how I call them pants in one sentence and trousers in the next, and there's a very good reason for that. In Canada, pants are pants, but in the UK, pants are underwear, and you can quickly
Yeah.
find yourself in awkward silence when you tell your in-laws that your pants are dirty. So while I will slip
Yeah.
back and forth every once in a while, I do tend to default to calling everything trousers just to avoid any unnecessary confusion. Diatribe aside though, my trousers are done and I can get
I've
to
heard-
work on
I've heard
my
stories of
or,
that
as it's
same
called
sort of
in the
thing.
UK, a jolly good T-bib. This goes through pretty much the exact same process of cutting strips and layering them up until my Lego man's chubby belly is covered.
I'm pretty sure you're
except
like
this time I'm not gonna
modern
bother with any textures. Now, for those of
English,
you wondering,
British,
yes,
UK,
you can
whatever
absolutely
people
see his nipples through
will
his
know
shirt.
what you mean when
I
you
ended
say
up adding a bit
pants,
of
but
extra clay there to cover them up
it
because
used
I
to be a
couldn't
topic
stop laughing.
of confusion.
Additionally, I ended up missing a tiny bit of clay at the bottom, so it looks like he's just a bit too fat for his shirt, and his belly is hanging out. And I think that is the textbook
perfect.
definition of a happy accident. Otherwise, I'll
That's
do the exact
perfect.
same thing I did with the pants, adding little wormy dealies all over the place to simulate the folds in his shirt.
I already watched this video of one of my nightmares last month. Ah, I see.
There's not much detail to add up top, but
What did
I'll
you
make
join?
sure
You're so
his
confused.
collar as well as his cuffs have been
Rorius now
attention, and
virtual.
it's time
Also,
to
we're
add
watching a horrifying
Because I've used the colored clay, I'm really only
model
increasing
make-
the vibrancy and adding some shading. I'll start by
this
repainting
Lego
the entire
man
surface with
monster.
a thinned out red, then touching up all the edges with a lighter shade. I'll do the exact same thing for the jeans, adding a nicer blue base coat to cover the blue of the clay, then adding lots of light blue highlights along all the areas that the jeans would fray. For me, the real benefit of painting the colored clay is that I can work a lot faster and not worry about missing any spots. If I do end up missing a bit of the blue, well, the clay is already blue, so who's really gonna notice? Otherwise, with everything else painted and sculpted, I can finally add a couple drops of UV resin to his eyes to really make him shine. So with my Lego man finished, I need something for him to stand on. I
UV
really wanted
resin.
Something simple so as to fit with the authentic Lego man theme and not draw attention away from the minifig. In the end, I decided to simply make an appropriate
Long pants and short pants. But in the UK,
Now I'm well aware
traditionally,
that I could have gone all out and
pants
made
are
something extra
underwear,
fancy, and it wouldn't
not
have been
what you
too hard
wear
to keep the Lego man as
outside.
the focus, but I really didn't want to. And in the end, it was easy enough to reframe
wanna know how long
my
it would take?
laziness as artistic integrity. Hell, I could have made a better Lego block out of foam, but then I would have had to paint it, and this clay is already green. Yeah, I'm that lazy sometimes. At any rate though, my Lego block is done. I'll throw it in the oven, mount my Lego man, and we're on to the glamour shots.
That's so gross. I can't wait to see the full. Yeah, that resin is fascinating. Oh, the tiny crack
As
in
always,
the
a huge
pants.
thank you to the supporters over on Patreon that
Yeah.
not only enable
Why?
these sorts of things,
Why
but
is this a
encourage
thing?
them. And a very special thank you to my newest patrons. Go to Gray, Jacob Rear, Sir Ashton, Darkspur and Kiwi Kuma, Eva, E.L.
Made it way too
Shadzong,
creepy.
Cheryl,
Yeah, he intentionally
Dennis,
made it creepy,
Audrey
which
H,
is
Stormy Sky, Sun
Yeah.
Young, Langston Ward, and Inuyasha. You are the handcrafted red shirt that helps hide the horrific Lego nipples that is this channel. I hope at some point during this video you blew a little extra air out of your
it's so upsetting. This is what G-Man really meant. Oh. Is this just like a... Gordon Freeman in Walmart. The right man in the wrong place. Yeah. Right, Software Gore, Part 1. Broken blue screen of death. Ew. It's when I'm looking at the chat. When I look at the chat, my eyes dip because I'm not looking directly. So yeah, if you...
You are PCR, you are PC ran and we're just for more and forma. If you call us upper, agree. You are PC ran into, you are PC raw we're 0% complete. If you'd like to take mode underscore exception underscore not
You kind of dig the
handled,
Lego Man.
What do you mean by this?
you are B. And that's not a good SD north mop out. I sure tell you, SM I story. Your per point advice from daily life lower. So why he at this point at words and the to the upper red enough I would. Why ended? Thou not off on view it. See your thons you king or doggy. Why?
Have you written this resume? Hans in contact with you live. Can be used to make a lot of neat things. Yeah, seemingly,
You are
yeah.
PCR we're just. You are PC ran we're just call it 35% complete. If you tell system underscore service underscore exception. You are PC ran into a pro. Yo we're J 0%
Yo, we're
complete.
Jay.
For more information ammo. If yo stop code underscore
Yeah, eyes are
exception
hard.
underscore not underscore handled.
You have 5 blue screens a day?
No. This code is weak, boys and steady. Garbage code in this sweater already.
Oh my
Raw
God.
spaghetti.
I was gonna get copyright struck, man. Green screen? Instead of blue screen of death, green screen of death.
Your PC ran into a problem and needs to restart. We are just
Yikes.
collecting some error info, and then we'll restart for you. Your PC ran into a problem and needs to restart. We are just collecting some error info, and then we'll restart for you. Your PC ran into a problem and needs to restart. We are just collecting some error info, and then we'll restart for you.
Make them thinner. I don't know if that would
100%
help.
Complete.
The problem with my eyes is that, like, to make it look normal, we've talked about this at the start of the stream, but my eyes are quite narrow. My natural sitting position with my eyelids is quite narrow. So to make it look normal,
I say this.
I have to have the sitting sit really, really sensitive, which makes weirdness happen. Every other line of pixels is up by 1. You mean on the broken blue screen of death stuff? It's really weird. It's really creepy. Oh, this is more software gore.
Seven deadly sins. Try it.
Oh my god. Wow.
Hi, how can I help?
How old am I in months?
You are 52 years old.
How old am I?
You are 52 years old.
I am 15 years old.
You are 52 years old.
Please Siri, who is the king of the United States?
The answer is about 1.57 billion Chinese kings.
Google f***ed up. And so did the keyboard. How many years ago was 8 and 27?
It's today.
You have negative 3 days to update the app. 2 hours and 15 minutes down this road. 30 minutes slower if you go down this road. Please answer the
Do a
question
loop.
provided. This process is used to prevent automated processes. What is quat cat and quat, spelled backwards. Semicolon talk and tack talk and. The answer you entered is not correct. Get full in Spain a tax rises to 14. San Francisco, California. Failed to print document. Printing is not supported in this printer. Recaptcha. Me1 shut down on
Oh my
March
God.
31st, 2018. Please enter your phone number. Nope. Your OneDrive is 100% full. You have only 17,179,869,184 gigabytes of available space. Member, since 2561.
Who created Kirby?
Kirby. Creator. Masahiro Sakurai. Only
That's
599 days until Halloween. Open App Store.
It doesn't look like you have an app named App Store. If you'd like, I can help you look for
That's
it
right.
on the App
I've seen this
Store.
before.
OS X Mountain Lion.
Brilliant.
Downloading additional components. Your computer will restart automatically. About 1,858,598,132 hours and 27 minutes remaining. What is the weather today?
Looks pleasant outside. Negative 999 degrees Fahrenheit in somewhere land on Sunday. Partly cloudy.
You have negative 68 days to update the app.
Lower
What is
than
the cost
0
of a train
Kelvin.
ticket from Sydney to Brisbane?
The answer is about 28.8 quadrillion kilometer US dollars squared.
I was driving and my phone vibrated to tell me this.
You will not receive notifications while you are driving.
Oh my God, of
Use
course.
space 1.83623249133569118,527. Free space 0 bytes. Capacity 1.83623249133567918,118,527. Windows did not shut down successfully. If PG antivirus free. Threat secured. We've safely locked this file in your quarantine. Win32 adware
I
generator.
knew it.
Program files. PG. Antivirus. Absctobeg.
Oh,
Negative 1 messages.
it put itself in
Person.
quarantine.
Laptop. Dog. The time is
Dog.
692. 111 minus 84.
Calling emergency services in 5 seconds.
Average beats per minute. Infinity. Nearest pole. Infinity. Timing taps. 2. Sorry, your answer is not correct. Correct answers. Your answers. Gold
Yeah.
sign. Who are the
That's
members
nonsense.
of BTS?
BTS is by BTS.
We've collected $22,319,838 while you were away. Get to Times Week video. $44,639,676 trillion. What is the national anthem of Bulgaria?
The national anthem of Bulgaria is Despacito.
File access denied. You need permission to perform this action. You require permission from everyone to make changes to this file. Bye-bye. Clock icon. Altitude, 80,005 feet. Project cars, not responding. Project cars is not responding. Windows is checking for a solution to the problem. Windows problem reporting. Windows problem reporting is not responding.
Of course.
Windows is checking for a solution to the problem. Info. Size, 140.7 terabytes. 18.4 exabytes free out of 486.9 gigabytes. What do you identify as? Male. Correct answer, female. Feedback, the correct answer is right, because X, Y, Z, Ohio will
That's the
be
problem with people
eliminated.
using automated forms. Ohio will be eliminated. That was really good. Some of those were brilliant. Alright, this is what happens if Gordon refuses G-Man's offer. Super Half-Life 64.
The right man in the wrong place can make all
Why
the
Ohio?
difference in the world.
I don't know. Why not Ohio? I was gonna say Ohio recently has been like
Smell the ashes.
the target of many hilarious things like that. I've seen a bunch of that recently. Oh my god. This is working in Gmod. That's really impressive. They've got the control scheme like down pat. This is amazing. I kind of want to play this. I want to play Half-Life but in third person and as Mario.
God, you haven't changed one iota. How do you do it?
You haven't changed one iota.
Another life to save? I'll keep my eye on you. More than that, I cannot promise.
Just leave them while they're fighting. That's brilliant. That guy T-posed. I was hoping to see him like leap over the gap.
Come on, Gordon. We've got to get out of here. Maybe we still have...
Time.
Yeah. What this reminds me of is there's that Spyro mod of Half-Life 1.
It seems as if
This is the Mario mod of Half-Life 2.
you've done a great deal in a small time span.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, it makes me want to play that I forget what his name is. Magic Nipples or something like that. His mod that's like, yeah, it's Half-Life 1, but you play as Spyro. Tom Nook in RE4. Replaces the merchant. You have to rent the guns from him. Joined your Subnautica stream, but I minimized Chrome while it was still running. This is what I get when I unminimize it once your stream ended. Oh, what the heck? Oh, interesting. You posted this to somewhere else first and then cross-posted it. Yeah, what the heck? 1,112 likes. Yeah. Weird. RE4, but you first need to catch bugs and sell it to get money and buy to buy stuff. Yeah, you kind of already do stuff like that, so it's funny. Like you find gems and stuff like that. If you just replace all the gems with like tarantulas and bugs and stuff. All right, Software Goal Part 3. We shouldn't watch much. We shouldn't watch it. If there's another one after this, we won't watch it today because I don't like to watch too much of the same stuff in one stream. But we'll watch this one.
Photo negative 644 of 146. Website language. Number 0.40, number 0.43, number 0.41, number
What the heck?
0.1, number 0.3, number 0.3,
And if PC asks you to bury your time capsule, you can't continue playing the game until they decide they want it back because the reward is a key.
Open day, Captain Day, number 0306. Svenska. Quiz. How well do you know your Scandinavian? Fans of Danish/Swedish crime drama The Bridge rejoice. The long-awaited final series returns to ABC on Friday, the 11th of May. But are you a Scandi specialist or a Nordic novice? Test your Nglar knowledge with our quiz.
I see.
Pat 278 D Disney Magic Kingdoms _H6 and key 7 GBF 63M app.
If you pay to increase the storage and Ashley's trash can.
7 hours and 19 minutes,
Yeah.
98% remaining. iPhone 3GS. Serial number, NA. Messages, John. Now, in 1 minute, it's almost time to restart your device. Your device will restart at 18 hours ago to finish installing updates. If this time works
Restart
for
at
you,
18 hours
select
ago.
Confirm. If you want, you can restart now or we'll try later to restart outside of active hours. An incorrect unlock pattern has been drawn once. Try again in 30 seconds.
Wait a second. How do they get away with these copyright uses?
87 hours, 39 minutes, and 51 seconds remaining.
That's
I
the part you were
would
worried
like
about?
23 operating systems. League of Legends. EVA, negative 11 minutes. 196.1 megabytes out of 161.8 megabytes.
Wait, what?
It is 4chan, today at 8:24 p.m.
I know. I feel exposed. Yes, Daddy.
Bongo, today at 8:20 p.m. Oh, the fuck is Discord? Okay.
Yeah, what the heck?
8:24. 8:20. Hover, Steam. Performing first time setup. Installing.
Sometimes while on charge, my laptop says 12% left, and then I unplug it and it turns to 100.
Black Cat
It
Attack.
just hasn't updated, that's all.
Matriculation. Black Cat Attack. Matriculation. Black Cat Attack.
Oh
Matriculation.
no.
Black Cat Attack.
Everything
Matriculation.
is a
Black Cat
Draculation.
Attack. Matriculation. Black Cat Attack. Matriculation. I understand perfectly. The time is 10:65. Privacy policy. Black Clone. Where Lloyd. Emberlord. Laredo, Texas. Emberlord. LIC 38L0034 Texas. Topia. Alpha. GKG 41 I OIR 54444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444444 The infamous World War II Death Factory comes to
Oh my
life.
god.
Step inside and experience the horror for yourself.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
I don't seem to carry that currency. Your device has been deactivated. Exit. Installing updates. Your PC will restart several times. Sit back and relax. 160%. Attaching files. Your files are larger than 25 megabytes. They will be sent as Google Drive links. 12.3 megabytes plus 10.8 megabytes equals 23.1 megabytes. Account management. Support. Settings.
Management.
That's feedback. Login. Did you need to switch applications? Microsoft Edge is trying to open Microsoft Edge. Pick an app. Pick an app. Pick a nap. Pick a nap. Pick a nap. Pick a nap. Pick
This
a
is in
nap.
task
Pick a
management.
nap. Pick a nap. Pick a nap. Pick a nap. Pick a nap. David orders a shot you follow. Added 0 new products.
Oh my god.
What is this date and time? Confirm order here. National Anthem of the USSR. Wix.com. 7-zip. Emails from Samsung Electronics. It takes 23.77 megabytes to download, but on sale, it takes only 14.54 megabytes. Clear some space
Wait,
in your
what?
Xbox. Assassin's Creed Origins needs 0 kilobytes additional space for its update. Uninstall something from your Xbox, then try again. The problem to solve is the
0
goal here
additional
is to divide
kilobytes.
x to the 30th power minus 1 by x to the 10th power minus 1. Sorry, can't let you. Stop. Everything will slide wrong. The answer is... I'm not reading that. That's not
I'm
how
not
a keyboard
reading
works. Magikarp. Walk with your buddy. Negative 0.5 out of 1 kilometers.
Wait, what?
7.5 kilometers total walked. To school. Getting an IP address. Enter the password. Cancel. Go on. Record 35,791 minutes, 23.64 seconds. Document 10, 1976, Boston City Hall, Stanley Foreman photograph. QuickTime and a TIFF, uncompressed, decompressor are needed to see this picture. 0.
Don't you love it when
battery
books have
remaining.
like a play button on
101%
them?
Battery remaining.
Or yeah,
Music.
QuickTime not
Get 3
available.
months of free music. Fuse.welcome.subscribe button.free trial.bxm. Can't install updates. We weren't able to install updates. More info. Updates were installed. Select this message to learn more.
Of course.
Putin.
He's taking over. Well, so those are brilliant. What have we got here? Blue gel teleport when Portal Pro Runner sees one. I briefly caught this when I was scrolling down.
Damn, Daniel.
Well, I wasn't expecting to edit. But yeah. Is it just like someone had repeatedly called that same command? I can't imagine why else it would be like that. The GameCube controller sandwich. Oh.
Ah, I am truly
What's with
beloved.
this resolution?
My, what a delicious, delectable looking sandwich made entirely out of GameCube controller and real food. Although I would say there appears to be an overabundance of lettuce, I'd say there's also an overabundance of yummy. So, the only thing we gotta do now is test it out.
Didn't have time to show at a proper angle. Oh, I see.
Okay, I think like every single button is sticking. But it tastes so good though.
Yeah, it looks like fake food, but brilliant. Why? Just why? Why is that a thing? Anyway, most of my clips from Portal Pro Runner. Getting his portals fizzled or getting his save reloaded. There'll be more of that eventually, but they won't involve fizzle portals or load save. Right, okay. Full screen.
I return. Nathan loading a save actually got me out of the pause menu, which is interesting. I don't think we've had that before, but yeah, it actually just got me out of the pause menu for a second. You could just hear the stream from there. Okay. Let me see if I can like counter it enough to dodge the funnel. Yeah, okay, there you go. So what I'm thinking is, we get onto the faithful, we don't bunny hop off the damn platform. That would not be ideal. Okay, Jesus Christ, this thing actually likes to just hop around.
Yeah, so you loaded a save while he was paused, and it caused him to go out of the pause menu. Weird. Mario Horror. Why Super Mario 64 is terrifying. This is the 15-minute video. I can't watch the whole thing.
So I was looking at the topics to cover for my Strange Gaming Stories series, which, if you haven't seen it, there's a link to them up above. And I came across one of the most bizarrely popular creepypastas I've seen in recent memory. Every copy of Mario 64 is personalized. Now, the premise is simple enough, the belief that there is some sort of personalized AI that alters each individual's playthrough based on their decisions. Were you a mischievous miscreant that thought no one would know that you dropped the baby penguin off into the frosty abyss? Or perhaps even the order that you obtained the castle stars in had a bearing on the game's overall outcome. It also explains the supposed disconnected feeling one would have from playing someone else's copy of Super Mario 64. It just wouldn't feel the same. Of course, this creepypasta is anything but real. Super Mario 64's code has been unraveled to the point of transparency, so any question as to this mysterious artificial intelligence has been dispelled. But that didn't stop conspiracy theorists everywhere from jumping on the Super Mario 64 creepypasta bandwagon. Just by simply searching Super Mario 64 iceberg into YouTube, you can find hour-long dissertations and dissections of similarly creepy compilations of odd, disturbing, or terrifying theories surrounding the N64 game. Why is there a negative emotional aura surrounding Wet Dry World? Have you ever seen the Wario apparition in your copy of the game? As with most of these iceberg conspiracies, our mind loves to wander and meander away from the straightforward and ponder on things with subjective what-if statements. The best part is that none of the theories can be proven, but our minds continue to produce them. But why Super Mario 64? The game isn't necessarily mysterious, nor was it intended to be a horror game. So how is it we can find ways to link these disturbing creepypastas to such an innocent game? Well, perhaps it's because Super Mario 64 isn't actually as innocent as we remember. In today's video, we're exploring what about the Mario 3D Classic makes it so unnerving to some people. So sit back, relax, as we uncover Super Mario 64's unsettling truth.
Okay, now I'm curious.
It wasn't until a few months ago when I played the re-release on Switch that I started to think about some more of the things that unnerved me about Super Mario 64. The game looks very much like it did in 1996. For better or for worse, Nintendo did absolutely nothing to spice it up. I've become older and wiser over the years, and honestly a lot more aware of what totally freaks me out. And well, let's start at the top. As soon as you start Super Mario 64, you're greeted with a 3D Mario face that you can play around with. The reason for this minigame of sorts should be obvious. The Nintendo 64 was the company's first dive into three-dimensional graphics, and this existed as a way to showcase the impressive nature of the console. I can't think of any other game in Nintendo's long history that had this type of activity at the beginning of a game, and it really puts into perspective the importance of the upgrade to 3D. But it also helps us understand another important aspect of Super Mario 64, the multiple limitations the team had when crafting the world our favorite plumber traversed through. Have you ever wondered why Toad turns from transparent to solid when you approach him? How about the expressionless face of Mario? Or perhaps the slowdown experienced when there are multiple coins on the screen? Super Mario 64 cut a lot of corners when it came to 3D because, well, there simply didn't exist a perfect balance between cost and conceptualizing a proper 3D environment. Sure, if people wanted to pay $150 for a game, some of these limitations could have been eliminated, but because of this, there were sacrifices that had to be made during the creation of the game that in retrospect just made the game weird. But was that really the reason Super Mario 64 is so unsettling? Sacrifices in other 3D platformers like Banjo-Kazooie and Crash Bandicoot undoubtedly had to be made as well, but those games just don't have the same vibe. They don't creep me out when I play them today. There's something more about Super Mario 64 that just freaks people out. Have you ever been into a normal hustling and bustling type place at night? How about your school?
Mario's mustache.
Your workplace?
Kind of looks like a smile.
Maybe even in a long hallway
a
of your
bit.
house, getting a drink of water at 3 a.m. with all the lights off?
Even though I
Did
only
it
thing I
just
did is
feel
just one.
creepy to you? Well, you may have experienced what is known in the psychology world as a liminal space. Liminal space aesthetics
I was just about to
relate-
say, like, something that I've always thought of when I've never played Super Mario 64, but when I look at Super Mario 64, the world, like, a lot of the worlds, like, look weirdly hollow. And when I say that, I mean just, like, they're not super detailed, I guess. I was watching a video the other day about the difference between the way that the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 handled, like, storage and space and stuff like that. And something that was said is that, like, cartridges had significantly less storage space than CDs did, but their load times were way faster. So you had this weird disconnect between, like, Super Mario, like, games on the 64 could have lots of stuff happening, but with less content. They couldn't have as much content like stored, whereas a PlayStation games and Dreamcast games and other disc-based consoles could have a lot of content, but it had to be loaded in slower. It had like longer load times, and it had to be brought in to the RAM essentially at a slower pace. So PlayStation games and stuff could have like hyper detailed, comparatively speaking, hyper detailed spaces with lots of variation, but Super Mario, like games like Super Mario 64, could have these vast open spaces with lots of stuff, but like just lots of the same stuff. So that's why in like you got like Ocarina of Time and Mario that are big open spaces where you can traverse and explore large open spaces. But on PlayStation, typically games are in smaller spaces, but with way more detail in those smaller spaces. Yeah, interesting thing, which I imagine leads to a lot of Nintendo 64 games feeling expansive but like hollow and lonely because there's not much variation. You'll get the same trees repeating, the same like texture tiling across the map. Yeah.
To the unique,
but then
and
PlayStation
combined
games feel
feeling
much
of eeriness,
more
nostalgia,
closed
and apprehension one gets when presented with
slower
such places outside their designed context.
64
In
games.
Super Mario 64, none of the usual business is present, outside of maybe Bob-omb Battlefield or Whomp's Fortress. Peach's Castle is a barren wasteland. When outside, there is absolutely no music or life.
By the way, go to the Rorius
outside
subreddit
of
and
some
then
bird
at the
chirps
top
and
should say
butterflies.
create post.
Going inside, your mind starts to play more tricks on you. Everything
Well, you
just
probably have to
feels
join first
so
and then say create
empty.
post.
And it lends a disturbing vibe that I just can't shake. A lot of Miyamoto's inspiration for video games
Mario
came
was a
from
Nintendo
his
64
experience
game.
as a child,
It's detailed
and
as
it was
heck.
once stated that
It's-
Peach's Castle
Yeah,
was no
I
exception.
I
The many
suppose we're talking
floors,
more about
locked areas,
3D
and basement
I
make it
suppose,
resonate
than 2D.
with dreamlike appearances. Perhaps the most fascinating part about Peach's
But yeah.
Castle is that by definition, it's not really a liminal space.
I guess
it's an area
Paper
we've
Mario's
honestly
weird.
not
It's
explored
both
before,
2D
but
and
it
3D.
feels off all the same. Like we expect things to feel one way, but they just don't. Think about the beginning of the game, for example. After you boot things up and select your file, you're greeted with a castle flyover and dramatic intro music. And then, silence. Examining your surroundings point to landscapes that are just out of reach. The washed out backgrounds are almost dreamlike, pointing to an Alice in Wonderland style aesthetic. I mean, there aren't even any direct walking paths to the castle. Why did Mario come out of a pipe at the beginning of the game? Is this really even Peach's Castle at all, or just some mirage created by Bowser? The deeper we traverse into Peach's Castle, the creepier it becomes. The haunting laugh of Bowser around every turn, the multiple secret entrances and trapdoors. It all feels very Funhouse-like. And the paintings you jump into to enter each level, it's all very strange as well. Each area of exploration offers that same feeling of isolation. Murky watercolors in the distance where you can almost make out what lies beneath, but you can never really truly get there. It's almost as if Bowser designed each stage literally out of the painting and nothing more. Although you can roam around wherever you want, each area is surprisingly small.
Something that was mentioned in that video as well,
like the shifting
is that,
Sandland Pyramid
when it comes
and
to
Lethal
space,
Lava Land's volcano offer additional areas to
on the
explore
two
that almost
consoles,
act as their own stages.
a lot
And
of
then
space on the
typical Alice in
PlayStation was
Wonderland
taken up
style
by
are much
full
larger
motion
inside
video.
than the structures you
A lot of
jump in to
games
get
used
there. It's as
FMVs,
if
which weren't
every
possible
minute detail
on
of Super Mario
64.
64 holds a sinister secret
But
that nothing can be taken for
the
granted. and
FMV
everything
takes up
has something else
so much
lying beneath.
space.
Oh, and let's not get me started on the never-ending staircase. The illusionary mechanics mixed with the menacing tune that plays when you try to climb them literally gave me nightmares as a child.
Mamma mia!
In fact, all of this reminds us how alone we really are in Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
There's no Luigi,
Lots of
no Yoshi.
That's
for
that's
pretty
a
much the
huge
entire
difference
game.
in the two
Peach
consoles.
is kidnapped, and
Is
even
that,
Bowser exists mostly as a haunting voice and cheesy animatronic-looking boss fight.
Yeah, something that's a huge difference between the two consoles is that PlayStation favored pre-rendered content because you could store like whole videos, whole like high detailed textures and things like that on discs. Whereas a Nintendo 64 favored live rendering of things because it didn't have a whole lot of space, so it was better to try and make live rendered stuff. But also, I believe the Nintendo 64 had more internal RAM, so it could actually store more, like it could do more in terms of like processing 3D data or 2D data for like active rendering stuff. But the PlayStation, because it was constantly having to draw from the disc, it prefers like pre-rendered stuff that doesn't need a whole lot of processing, and of course unfortunately led to like slightly longer load times. But something that was also required on PlayStation was that PlayStation's the way the developers had to make the games is they kind of had to work around that fact that they had to constantly, there's a lot to load from the disc. So games made on PlayStation found ways to constantly load data and constantly switch out different data, whereas Nintendo 64 didn't have that same requirement, which led to just a difference in the style of programming and coding and off of the Nintendo 64. It did tend to lead to more of this style of game where it's like, there's less. You look at the texture, for instance, the textures in this screen. The textures have significantly less detail than you'd expect from a PlayStation kind of texture. But then the overall 3D space tends to be larger than what you'd get on a PlayStation. This same space would probably be done with just either like a FMV that's being run back and forth to simulate a 3D space, or it would be done with a very simple, like you still get 3D spaces like this. Like this space isn't a good example, honestly, but you'd have an increased level of detail in the floor, for instance, increased level of detail in the skybox. But they'll use all sorts of tricks to like load that in before you arrive at that space so that you can have that extra detail.
Sure,
Yeah.
there's a few characters that you can talk to.
I'm not an
along
expert.
the way,
I'm just
but a
trying to
majority of my
recount what I
experience
read
through the game,
what I
just
heard the other
felt
day.
alone.
But yeah,
some instances
I thought it was
of aloneness
interesting.
are furthered by the question of why. Why is Dire Docks so absolutely desolate? I mean, I think there's only like 15 or 20 enemies in the entire level. Why is there a skybox image of a real city in Yemen in Wet Dry World? This, coupled with the secret underwater city, makes us wonder where everyone is. Are these houses abandoned? Did they all die? Who lives in the house in Rainbow Ride? I have so many questions, and I'll never get those answers. It's all very unsettling when you start to think about it. Aloneness can manifest a wide array of feelings in our minds. Dread, like when you traverse down to the basement for the first time, terror when spending time swimming around in wet dry world, or just plain creepiness when navigating the shifting sandlands. There isn't anyone to reach out to when playing the game, and in all honesty, there's just no spark of personality normally present in other Mario titles. Despite this game being so loved and nostalgic by many, it's a surprise that it makes me feel the way it does, and I'm certainly not alone. The titles that followed in the 3D Mario path also had limitations, but Sunshine and Galaxy both feel lifelike and full of personality. And there's plenty of characters to talk to. Vibrant landscapes that feel lush and
I haven't
full,
played that myself.
and I just don't get that feeling from Super Mario 64. Adding on to the chronic feeling of loneliness Super Mario 64 possesses is the lifeless and frightening appearance many of the characters and enemies have. We've already alluded to Mario's flat expression, but the enemies themselves exude some blank auras as well. The Womps with their gaping, toothy grins, the giant eel from Jolly Roger Bay with its washed out eyes, the Pokies glaring red stare. Don't even get me started on the man-eating piano from Big Boo's Haunt. I'm not one for jump scares, but that one seems to get me every single time. The limitations of early 3D had a lot to do with how the enemies had these singular expressions emblazoned on their faces. But looking back now, there are a lot of unnecessarily creepy enemies in the game. Even some characters with happy expressions like the Spindle in Shifting Sandland gave me the creeps. All of the enemies seem robotic, only
that
serving
piano,
a limited looping purpose,
Infamous
which only
piano.
strengthens the Alice in Wonderland approach. And also, what's with those boxes in Shifting Sandlands with the multiple faces on it? That's really freaking creepy. And to add on to the 3D limitations Super Mario 64 had, sometimes the enemies just randomly appear and scare the crap out of you. A further dive into the game's beta will only further our fears, with creepy alternate faces for enemies seeming just as unsettling. Why were these ideas scrapped in the first place? There's even a secret enemy, Motos, kind of like a bully mixed with a Chukya, that would have given me nightmares as a kid with its lifeless beady eyes. Did Bowser create these robots just to fit the setting of each stage? Or am I reading too far into things? The last major thing I want to highlight are the wide array of spooky game mechanics and graphics that just felt strange when playing through Super Mario 64. When you die in most Mario games, the little red plumber has some sort of crazed expression on his face, and it all seems very innocent. However, in 64, when you die, you really die. I mean, the amount of realism present in Mario's drowning sequence alone tells you all you need to know. Drowning, gasping for air, passing out and dropping on the floor, the X's on the eyeballs. I mean, put the icing on the cake, the silhouette of Bowser's face juxtaposed against his laugh. Like, I really, really didn't want to see that creepy Bowser face when I was a kid. I did everything to regret dying, not just because of losing progress, but man, that thing, that was awful. In addition to this, falling off the stages just felt incredibly daunting. In the Bowser stages or Hazy Maze Cave, it was literally like falling into an abyss. This only furthers the Alice in Wonderland theory as well, because you're basically falling out of the contrived space created from the painting you jumped through. And it makes me feel unnerved, to say the least.
There's one PlayStation game that gave me that same vibe. I have to bring it up. 1 second. Hula World. I really want to get a copy of this game because it's a great game. But this game gave me that same vibe in certain areas. Like, it's easy. You're in like a void space. If you jump wrong, you fall into it. Like, this is a bad example. Most of the worlds have got like sort of skyboxes like this. And if you jump wrong, you fall endlessly in whichever direction your current gravity is, and it always upset me, that idea of falling into the void as a kid. I love Cool World. Anyway,
lastly, when you do die, there exists a red game over screen with slowed down music and a sad Mario face. It just didn't make me feel better at all.
Game over.
To add on to the fear of drowning, did swimming in Super Mario 64 ever just feel incredibly slow to you? It only compounded the fear I had swimming down into the depths of the water levels.
Oh yeah, well that's
watching my health tick lower and lower.
I don't know if
just
that's necessarily
tapping
just a
buttons
Mario
as fast as
thing.
humanly possible to avoid drowning. in the
I had this
liquid
with
abyss.
Ratchet and Clank.
Why do we have to intentionally hurt that
PS2.
Nessie whale thing in Hazy Maze Cave? I mean, you literally hear it cry out in pain when you ground pound it. The overabundant amount of glitches, the backwards long jump, like, that is such an impressive glitch that it's almost like it had to be there on purpose. Sticking with the theme of creepy graphics, Super Mario 64 is riddled
It's
with
really
muddled
cool. I
textures
love
on
I
walls,
love old
unreadable signs like the suspect L is real 2401, and the overall lack of detail in many of the game's aspects.
I love old PS1
Somehow,
games.
the age of a game's graphics and
Yeah,
mechanics.
the way that Cooler World works is that you're a ball, you're rolling on like this 3D shape thing, and as you move, it like the world rotate. Like if you move, I can't show you with my hands. You move onto a wall. If you move towards a wall, you roll onto the wall, and the world like shifts so that becomes the new down direction. And you gotta like roll around the object to get all the fruit, to get the key to escape. Yeah.
Can really add to the
I didn't
creepy
intend to watch
factor,
this whole
and
video,
Super
but we
Mario
ended up watching the
64
whole video.
Sure takes the cake for me. Whatever your opinion is of Super Mario 64, whether you think that the game is legitimately scary or not, I hope this video has at least opened your eyes to the many odd things about the game's existence. We've only scratched the surface of the game's unsettling nature, and there are tons of other videos out there dissecting specific sections of the game
I could have
and why they have
gone
haunted
out of my
people for
way to
years.
try and set up the hands.
Do you think Super Mario 64
But I
is
had
scary?
not.
Let me know
There-
how you
the
feel
hands
in
are a
the comments
possibility.
below. What was the scariest thing for you when you were playing
With
the game?
this system, but
I appreciate
I
everyone for watching the
didn't worry
video
about
today.
it.
So I know this topic is a little bit different from my usual content.
Yeah, it's hard.
As always, this is Press Start to continue, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, that's a cool video. I like watching videos about this kind of thing. I wonder if I can find that video that I watched the other day. Oh, I won't worry about it. But the what the hell was I saying? I've completely forgotten what I was gonna say. Never mind. Yeah, Cool World's cool. Let's move on. It's the sequel to Portal 2, but chat can do console commands.
So in case you don't know how a Chaos mod works, here's a quick catch-up. 4 random effects appear at the top right corner of my screen.
Right, yes.
My live stream chat can then vote for which one they'd like to see, thus increasing the odds of it getting picked. And best of all, these things stack, so it can get pretty crazy. Thanks to KurzyHow for this mod. You can get it for yourself down in the description. Also, while you're down there, I wouldn't mind a quick sub, just saying. So, you know what, enough explanation, let me just actually get into this and you'll see how it works for yourself. So right here, we've got 4 effects available on the top right. You guys can just vote for the effect you want in chat, and that increases the chances of it getting picked. So there you go, Polish space program, whatever that means, is at 73%. I'm kind of scared. Oh god, oh what the okay, that was just a boost. Okay, we've got super hot. Oh, yeah, okay. So, this is, super hot. I see now. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. So, time only moves when I move. So, if I stand still, everything's gonna be slow as shit. But as soon as I start moving... Oh, what? Oh, no, I permanently zoomed. Oh, this isn't good. Wait, what map is this? Okay, portal gun. It's so bad already.
What's
I
happening?
can't recognize what level this is. Oh, my
Hide static
God.
world is what
okay,
is happening.
we're falling. We're falling. Keep
Help, my
moving,
W
keep moving.
is
Okay,
stuck.
no, we no longer have super hot. Okay, I can chill for a little bit. I see upside down view on the list. I do not want that, okay? We're just in the 3rd level of the game, and this is already more chaotic than like anything I've played. Oh god. Oh no! Wait, no, is it just... Oh, I thought it was just one
no.
roll. No, we're permanently rolling. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm also zoomed. I can't bunny hop. What's
I'm gonna
going
fucking...
on?
I need to skip barrel roll.
No. Faith in humanity has been restored. And I'm dead. All right, what
It's
the?
like GTA 5 Chaos Mod.
Oh god, yeah, no claustrophobia. Oh yeah, I feel that.
I've only really seen this
oh my
on,
god, I can't put it on the
Minecraft.
button. I physically cannot. Oh, friction is back. Yes. Oh my god.
I like the DVD
We've got
thing.
it. Holy fuck, that's a high jump. Nice. What the fuck? Oh, a companion cube. Oh yeah, don't mind if I do. All right then. All right then. Easy. Holy fuck, that's a tight door. The grid. What the? Oh, it's just a wireframe of
Nice.
fucking everything. All right then. So
Yeet
some
player.
of these are apparently
felt
like
dizzy then.
single
Yeah, I get
time,
sick really
or
quick
single events, I guess, and then
stuff
some
like
of them
that.
last for like 30 seconds or so. So
I'd have
apparently
to
we're gonna have a
if I was
wireframe
to do
for
this,
30
I'd have to
seconds.
turn off
Thank God I've got coordinates.
to a barrel
There's
roll.
no eyes closed. Oh, am I supposed to just navigate nothing? Okay. What the?
Whoa.
Bro, this is looking like some sort of Windows XP like audio visualizer type shit.
What the
Shortfall boots? Oh, what does that do? Oh, does that enable
Can't even go
fall
on roller
damage?
coasters.
This place
I
looks
can go on
kinda
roller
swag.
coasters, but
I cannot see where I'm shooting.
if it's too
Okay, we
intense,
do
I will
actually have
immediately
fall
get
damage now.
motion sick.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
All right, I gotta
short full
be
boots.
sort of careful with these portal shots then. That's not being careful at all. I can't see where I'm shooting. Portal machine gun. Yo! What the fuck? Dude! Look at that shit. Yeah, I think I've got my portals placed, yeah? Yeah, let me just make sure. Reverse surface portal ability. Wait.
Oh.
Wait, does that mean I can shoot on black surfaces? Oh.
Yeah.
And I can't shoot on the white ones.
That's fascinating.
Oh, all right then. How am I supposed to get here? I mean, what the fuck? Okay, this. What?
Oh, God.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus. There's a lot of cores. Wait, let me enable dialogue. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Fuck, they're annoying. I need to get up there.
Oh, Space Core Orbit.
I guess I
just
could, like,
noticed.
reportal. I don't see a better way of doing it. Okay. Yes. Nice. Okay, I got up here. Very cool. There you go. Oh, wait, no, I can't shoot the portal there. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this intended. Oh my god, they're so annoying. POV, NASA. Oh, okay, it's over. It's over. I can shoot portals now. Yes. Oh, I'm saved. Okay, I cannot see where to shoot a portal here. I'm just gonna like guess it's in this wait, no. Is it this thing? Oh, wait. I found the surface. Okay, I've got it. I've got the button. Where's the damn thing? Oh, well, I'm glad I pressed it before it set on fire.
Ignite everything.
I can't stand next to the door. Okay. Oh, okay. I almost burned to death there waiting for that thing to open. What? Yo, Snapchat mode. Wait, guys, we have to do something epic.
Yo, how does he do that?
Wait, no. Bro, this isn't fair. I can only shoot them on walls. That's not a wall. That's a ceiling. Moon gravity is just not helping with this. Wait. What the fuck?
Also,
oh,
graphic
the
view.
graphic view. Oh yeah, no, don't mind if I do. Is gravity still screwed with props? Oh, what?
Laser eyes.
Ha! Can I? Oh my god, I can activate receptacles. Okay, that's kind of cool. These aren't my portals. What does that mean? Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Oh no.
That's fine. I'm just gonna grab the other cube. I don't think there's any chances
This
with
guy's
me.
cheating.
Oh, what? Oh no.
Oh, upside down view. I'm actually feeling kind of sick watching this. I think I'm gonna. Oh, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. It's making me feel queasy. Oh. Let's chill for a bit. Let's chill and watch the most epic GitHub pull request of all time.
Oh man, this is hilarious. You do not see party fouls like this one every single day. So if you're an Epic Games dev, or if you're just somebody who has ever had anything to do with Unreal Engine ever, then you probably got your inbox flooded after Rohith Sridharan, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but Rohith here made this epic pull request and basically replied all on it. That's just a quick rundown of what happened here if you don't use GitHub. Just a mistake made by a young developer that likely resulted in millions of emails getting sent out to people. But actually, if you really think about what is going on here, you can come to the conclusion, like I have, that Rohith Sridharan.
I ate a little bit of banana, And when I eat the banana, it makes my it makes my character, my profile, my VTuber avatar go like sad, happy, sad, happy.
Actually did nothing wrong, okay? Epic Games is actually, in my opinion, misusing GitHub's groups feature, okay? Because this developer group that has almost 400,000 people in it that Rohith added, the only reason that group exists is because Epic Games requires people to join that group in order to see the Unreal Engine source code, okay? Which, of course, tons of people do, right? Tons of people want to do game development, and this is a pretty good game engine to use for doing that. So tons of people end up joining the Unreal Engine games group. But Epic Games, they could just make the source code, they could just make the repository for Unreal Engine public. And then you wouldn't have to join this group. You wouldn't even need to have a GitHub account to download it. But no, instead, they make you do all of this stupid bullshit so that you can get access to their repo. Look at this, 6 steps that you have to go through to get access to the Unreal Engine source code when it really should just be 1, download the code from GitHub. But since so many people want to act like this is a super big deal, I mean, we got people like Trevok here saying, shut it down, lock it. This is a friendly message, but we need to get OP banned because he's a terrible person. He's doing gross social misconduct by not checking how many people are in a group before he adds it. Okay, I mean, yeah, you should do that. All right, you should do that. It's a bit of a party foul. That's what I'll call it. But it's also just stupid that this massive group even exists in the first place. Don't be like a Trevok. Be more like a Johnson Christopher. Just unsubscribe from the group, ignore the emails, and call it a day instead of trying to say that a young dev needs to get banned. But since so many people want to make this a big deal and act like Rohith is some epic troll that just tried to crash GitHub, I'm going to take a little bit of artistic liberties with telling this story to make it as big a deal as people are making it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the somewhat fictional story of our hero, Rohith.
Yeah, I want to learn Unreal Engine. I've
It
done
was Friday,
June
June
I've learned
3rd,
Unity
2022.
barely
Young
thoroughly.
Rohith awoke with the rising sun.
I was
as
watching
he
a video on
always does.
Godot the other day.
His first task of the day was
and
the
it seems
same
like an
as any
interesting
other,
engine as well.
sending out
But
hundreds of wholesome good morning messages to his friends and family on WhatsApp. After sending several terabytes worth of animated GIFs back and forth,
What the
Rohith
heck?
had successfully clogged the Facebook botnet once again. But jamming up Facebook was child's play for Rohith. Between the sheer number of boomer posts involving Minion memes and
Oh my
QAnon
God.
members waiting for the second coming of JFK, Facebook had been perpetually on the brink of collapse for years now.
It's not
So
Python,
young
this is
Rohith
Python
set
Lite.
his sights upon another
It's
botnet,
based on Python.
GitHub. He knew that the task would be tough, especially since GitHub was acquired by Microsoft, a champion of information security, as we all know. But his determination was strong and his senses were keen. He saw a weakness in GitHub's design, the Epic Games repository, which had a group of over 300,000 members. Rohith acted swiftly. He created a completely unnecessary pull request, perfect for gorgeous looks, can push ASAP, with a follow-up message to verify the pull request and merge ASAP. After notifying all 400,000 Epic Games developers, Rohith peacefully went to bed, satisfied with what he had done. But as the sun rose on Europe and Burgerland, utter chaos started to ensue. People's inboxes were flooded with requests to do the needful. GitHub's servers were struggling to keep up with the millions of queued emails that were building up from this chain reaction. Worshippers of the botnet desperately pleaded to shut it down to maintain the status quo, but it was too late. Pandora's box had been opened, and the Google Play cards had been redeemed. After a couple of years, the number of queued emails had grown past 6 gorillion. Samsung, Seagate, and Western Digital had all been ordered by the globalist government to put all of their effort into crafting hard drives for Microsoft's GitHub servers to contain the growing email queue. This action was able to stall the collapse of the servers for a couple of decades, but despite every single hard drive manufacturer going bankrupt by making free hard drives for Microsoft, the effort was not enough. And on July 1st, 2042, all of GitHub's and Microsoft servers collapsed under the weight of Rohith's mighty pull request. The moment this happened, Richard Stallman the Grey was sitting atop the Andes Mountains meditating, when he felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if the evils of proprietary software had been severely weakened. He then pulled out his Libre-booted ThinkPad and checked his emails in Emacs, and he realized that the market share of GNU Linux had risen to over 70%, as Windows users desperately clinged on to any operating system that would let them play their precious games. Stallman the Grey knew at this point that he must launch a full-scale GNU jihad against proprietary software. It was now or never that software freedom would be achieved. Microsoft was swiftly defeated. A brigade of Arch users under the order of Stallman hacked Microsoft's remaining servers, attempted to install Arch to them, and then rice their desktops. After the attack, not a single server was able to boot past a TTY. Apple was a bit tougher to defeat. Since they are Unix-based and incredibly rich, they were able to survive Rohith's initial pull request by converting literal wheelbarrows full of money into solid gold petabyte hard drives through high-level alchemy. But Stallman the Grey, being the highly intelligent war general that he was, found a way to defeat Apple as well. Using technology that was stolen from Elon Musk's penthouse apartment and then made GPL-3, Stallman the Grey was able to raise an army of Neko girls that stormed Apple's headquarters, killing every iOS and Mac developer in sight.
The beautiful story.
The battle ended with Richard Stallman slaying Tim Apple himself. The world was finally rid of proprietary software. Stallman the Grey looked around at all the great work he had done before transforming into a ball of light and ascending to Nirvana along with Rohith. Generations of children will look back at the day that Rohith, a self-described noob developer, pushed over the first domino that would lead to victory in the GNU/Jihad and the establishment of the kingdom of GNU/Jana here on Earth.
And that's it. That's where it ends. Oh my god. that took a wild turn in a different direction. Alright, now that I remembered this time, we got to shout out the members. We have a bunch more members this time. So let's go through all the Royal Maximilian members. It's tempting to bring that onto the main screen, but I'm only supposed to shout out the Royal Maximilians. And there's no way I can filter for that, only that. So, without further ado, we have Jonas with Royal Maximilian. We got Core Gamer with Royal Maximilian. We got Josie with Royal Maximilian. We got King of Fools with Royal Maximilian. Digits with Royal Maximilian. Oh, I haven't said the months. Jonas with 24. Core Gamer with 21. Josie with 19 months. King of Fools with 15 months. Digits with 14 months of Royal Maximilian. Orangey with 7 months of Royal Maximilian. Tiana with 25 months. Chris with 25 months of Royal Maximilian. And then we got all the new ones. We got Malik, Curtis, 4 Games, Fireboy, Zach with 8 days of Royal Maximilian. And Haikal, Max, Sapphire, or Mecha, Nathan with 6 days. And then Rocky with 10 months of Royal Maximilian, having just rejoined 4 days ago. Hell yeah. Yeah. We have something like 22 members. Yeah, at the moment we have 22 members, which is awesome. I was able to activate a new... Oh yeah, for everyone, I forgot to mention, there's a new emoji. What did I make it again? Yeah, I made it this. There's a new emoji you can use because we have enough members now. It's dead, Rorius. Dead. Chris is still there. Yeah. Chris is still a member. I haven't seen Chris much recently, but Chris is still a member. That's our XOX. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Exactly what Fireboy did was what I was about to do. Dead Rorius and a, oh no, crying Rorius. Yeah. There's one more emoji that Damien did that we could still add, but I need something like, I think I need 30 members to get to the next emoji. So that's not going to happen in a while, I don't think. Yeah. 1 second. Where was he? Oh, badges and emojis. Here we are. Oh no, 8 more members. So I need 28. No, it is 30 because we have 22. So yeah, I need 30 members on the channel to in order to get the last emoji, which is Sleepy Rory. He's doing good. School is doing him a murder. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's not surprising. Ooh. Well, soon not school. Soon responsibilities as a goof Finnish resident. I see. It's only temporary. If at the end of the month, unless you opt to start paying for memberships, it'll cease, unfortunately. But yeah, because gift memberships are just for a 1 month thing. You can be re-gifted a membership, but unless you either go for it or you get re-gifted it, yeah, that's it. All right, exclusive footage of Valve's next Half-Life. I feel like I'm having my leg pulled. This is I think this is on the I really want to try this. It's a mod for, it's the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 mod. There's like a real big community for Pro Skater 2 modding. That level is from Pro Skater 4. Did I say Pro Skater 2? I mean Underground 2, sorry. Tony Hawk's Underground 2, not Pro Skater 2. This is a level from Pro Skater 4, but it's a mod for Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, in that mod, it's like, oh, what was it called? It's like Thug 2. I'll just see if there's a, oh, it's called Thug Pro. Yeah. It's basically like, yeah, if you have Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Thug Pro basically allows you to mod the shit out of Tony Hawk's Underground 2, and you can just add whatever you want. The list of games that has modders is wild. Oh yeah. Like so many games, especially older games, are so like there's so many games that are old school games that are getting like modded in the modern era. I thought I watched this video already.
We live in scary times. All
Philip.
countries are arming up, misinformation is rife, and climate change deniers have changed their stance from it doesn't exist to, well, it's too late to do anything about it now.
I have
If you're
watched
triggered by
this,
me
yeah.
merely saying that, and are frantically
I just
hammering
forgot
away
to
at your
hit
keyboard
like.
to tell me that they're saying this just to wear us down and to make us give up hope, just ask yourself, where did that stance come from? Did you form it yourself, or did you just read it from a dozen different places before? Do you think those comments were generated by people? It doesn't matter. We're all part of the hive mind now. Almost every day, a new technology comes along that threatens to change life forever. Blockchain, for instance. It had its fun with the currencies. Then there was that whole NFT debacle. It seems like people lump blockchain onto everything, as if it's somehow going to solve all our problems. And then there's AI. computers training computers to get better at not being computers, resulting in immensely elaborate neural networks that we humans cannot understand, yet it can somehow output data indistinguishable from that of human-created content. I've been covering a rather basic image generation model, yet even these have a distinctly dreamlike quality to them. I covered an AI-generated speech program too, but you wouldn't know that because nobody watched those videos. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. But behind the scenes, I was experimenting with it. One of the things I did was to respond to people on this channel with AI-generated responses. What was said doesn't really matter. It seems kind of argumentative, sometimes a bit random, but what matters is that nobody realized that I was doing it. Simply by having my username respond to people was enough to make them think it was me responding to them. And why wouldn't it? Nobody expects somebody to AI generate responses. Not even from me, an upscaling addict. Merely words associated with my profile name on YouTube is enough to pass as it being me. But don't you see what's terrifying about that? Because I realised that I may be giving other AI generated messages the same benefit of the doubt. There are billions and billions of comments made online, on social media, on sites like Reddit, on sites like YouTube. Do we honestly think that all those are human generated? Well, of course they aren't. We get the spam bots and we get the obvious cases, but as I was replying to people on YouTube with AI generated stuff, I got a horrible, nagging feeling that something wasn't right. There's that story going around about that Google engineer who was convinced the AI he was talking to was real and sentient.
That's right.
There are a lot of doubts about that story that you're no doubt hammering away at the keyboard to tell me about, but I don't know. If the free AI tools online can half manage it, then why can't Google's latest and greatest? So yeah, I've got a rough idea of what is required to break current AI tools that I've been talking to. It puts up a good fight, and frequently scares me with the breadth and depth of its knowledge, and its frightening ability to sustain a coherent conversation. Those responses scared me for the obvious reasons. From now on, we've got to consider the possibility that any message that we read online could be written by AI. But it was the broken and slightly incoherent responses of older AI tools, which also scared me. The ones which sounded like they were translated from another language, or where it seemingly lost track of what had been said, getting immediately sidetracked and changing the narrative on a dime. Because I realise I've been giving those sorts of comments the benefit of the doubt for years already. Even with primitive, beginner-level AI responses, their context has caused me to pass them off as still being from a human.
But yeah,
to assume that there have been human reasons for their sorts of behaviours, and that many of these AI-generated comments may already have influenced my emotions and behaviours. How many hours of my life have been wasted responding to AI systems that don't think or feel? That long, thoughtful response I produced to that person with a problem of some sort, which I assumed had been typed by somebody with English as a third language. What if it was just a bot trying to get enough rep on YouTube to bypass Google's bot checks? And what if my response had helped with that? Or what about that nasty character who endlessly argued with me about something they clearly knew nothing about? That profile that got me angrily passionate about a subject because I knew for a fact that they were wrong. When that person started lying and fabricating facts to give his argument reason, maybe it wasn't a sly attempt at manipulation, but was just AI getting stuff a bit wrong. And to think, I bothered to get invested and angry about that one too. Or what about that nice comment that made me feel happy? How would I feel if I knew it was just a generic response from a bot that was only there to spout propaganda about something several years later? What if AI has wasted a sizable chunk of my life already? Maybe you're thinking this doesn't matter. Maybe all that matters is that I think they're real and feel that my interactions with them have purpose and lasting consequences. Them being AI might not mean that they don't, but it definitely changes what those interactions mean. And I feel like I'm being manipulated. Because if these things were bots, then they were created for a purpose, either to manipulate me or to use the comments they've generated already to mask their future and more sinister intentions. And to think we saw the AI revolution as being up ahead of us, when I realise now it could have been here for years already. And even with clearly broken and stupid messages, I still assumed that they had been typed by humans. Broken and stupid human beings maybe, but humans nonetheless. AI could already be living among us. It's my worst nightmare, and it's YouTube's comment section right now. So while I'm out there, AI generating comments for my amusement, there are no doubt others out there doing it for more sinister reasons. Train an AI to subtly criticize something from time to time, create a million YouTube accounts with that particular behavior, and suddenly you've created a popular viewpoint. I've long found it suspicious, the barrage of hatred on every video that features
bot
Bill
interaction
Gates.
was funny.
Is this just a load of Facebook mums getting angry enough to post on YouTube using their pictureless profile accounts? Or are all these comments AI driven by the anti-vax movement in an obvious attempt to give their viewpoints validity by giving the impression there are millions who already agree with them? Or worse still, is the mastermind behind this somebody else? with even more obtuse motives that we can't possibly know just yet. People on Reddit are given the top posts, which is okay as long as the top posts represent what people think, rather than what a popular AI thinks. With enough accounts and enough upvotes, you can manipulate the conversation. And more terrifyingly, that then manipulates what real people viewing the conversation think. Morbius is a bad movie. But look on Reddit and you may instead see it as a dank shitpost that everybody is constantly referencing, shoehorning the term morbing into conversations every 5 seconds, no matter where on the site you are. Seeing it being talked about everywhere in such a viral way, you may be inclined to think that the movie has some sort of value, or even to watch it. Even if the source of all this memery was birthed unnaturally by a devious guerrilla marketing attempt. Which of course I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was all naturally driven by the internet's love of endlessly talking and promoting literally every Marvel thing ever made ever, no matter what, nor how bad. But say, for instance, in the future at some point that a bad movie comes out and looks to be a box office failure, and fearing that they won't even recoup the costs of production, the studio behind the movie turns to an alternative marketing strategy. Instead of trying to get people to watch it by making it look good, what if they instead just try to turn it into a popular internet meme? Just look at Shrek and its continued popularity. In this day and age, what you'd need to do would be to start off with a few thousand fake social media accounts mentioning the movie's name in a memey way in every popular conversation going. Then when real people begin doing it, it becomes a self-perpetuating loop. It looks organically driven, and a movie that would otherwise have been a box office flop suddenly gets hundreds of millions of dollars worth of promotion and marketing for free. Crisis averted. For the movie studio, at least. But making and sustaining all of these fake thousands of social media accounts is time-consuming and costly itself. And it can't just be new accounts spouting this stuff either. That's way too suspicious. It needs to come from accounts that are months or even years old.
Corneus sounds like a version of me that's made of corn.
And with a credible-looking post-history. That stuff takes time, planning, and effort, which itself can be costly. And sure, you can outsource that work to offices of Chinese workers or children in Thailand or whatever, but what if there was an even cheaper way of doing this? What if you could somehow get a computer to auto-generate vaguely coherent sounding comments? Good enough to slip by the bot detection nets. Good enough to keep these accounts churning out worthless but human sounding comments for months on end, until their moment of need, at which point they're reconfigured to shoehorn the movie's name, let's say Corneus, into every conversation imaginable. Now, I'm sure this sort of thing has never happened and never will. Certainly not for something as silly as a box office flop, and definitely not for important things like, say, politics. That would be too terrible to imagine. Imagine a few people using a massive network of AI accounts to subtly manipulate our thoughts and feelings via memes, half-truths, or simply through a continual bombardment of misinformation. It could undermine the foundations of a democratic society. But what if? We need to be ready for this, and to assume that everything may have a darker meaning behind it. These days on YouTube, I'm getting more and more people accusing me of shilling something whenever I speak positively about anything. There was a time online when you could just talk fondly about an experience or a game of some sort and it was taken as that. But now, there has to be a darker reason behind it. I assumed all this cynicism was just the internet getting nastier and more critical, but maybe it's people trying to defend themselves from misinformation and from subtle marketing attempts by immediately assuming that everything must be. This isn't nice, it isn't healthy, and yet I'm not sure what else people can do to shield themselves from misinformation. I'm not sure if even this is shielding themselves from the real manipulation that's going on behind the scenes. But be warned, going down this path will make you paranoid. What if everybody's an AI? Who knows what sort of long-term impact their influence will have on you, no matter how resistant you think you are to that sort of trickery. I don't think AI has become sentient, but it's already reached the capabilities of your average social media post. And maybe that's enough. I went off on a bit of a rant on Twitter, not about AI-generated text, but this time it was about AI-generated imagery. People keep on telling themselves that they can see if something's been created by AI, as if that's going to protect them. You can't trust yourself to be able to detect it anymore, and it will be used maliciously, whether the good guys use it or not. And people who want to believe stuff is true will convince themselves it is, even if, deep down, even they have their doubts. On this channel, when I upscale a particularly low resolution or blobby image, people call me out on it. But that doesn't mean you can always spot upscales, because while you spotted that particularly obvious upscale, you missed the dozen or so other images from that video that were also upscaled, but done more subtly. The reality is, AI is here and it's getting good. Good enough to trick you unless you're told specifically beforehand that what you're seeing is AI generated. Then it's easy to spot 100 things that are wrong with it, even if it turns out
my
it
avatar was doing
AI
weird
generated.
stuff.
The conclusion I have reached is, Pandora's box has been opened. It will continue to improve, and it will be used in every way possible. I personally think the good guys should get ahead of all this by showing the world how it could be used in every way possible. You can't trust the picture of Boris Johnson in a tub of baked beans, because it could be fake. It might not be.
So
when you see a picture of the president strangling a cat, rather than to try and explain to the believers how it's fake, the best response is probably just to generate another image showing him strangling a dog, or a child, or a dragon, just to prove that this sort of proof is no longer proof. What we need now is a better way of verifying what is real. Don't ask me how we're going to do that, but it will need to be done. Blockchain, perhaps.
Yeah, an interesting an interesting look into a possible future, something that we have to deal with. I might be how far are we through? I was gonna say, I think I'm having there might be a I might be having a slight familial crisis, so I might have to end the stream here and go help. So I might have to end it super early. There's still so much more stuff here. Maybe we'll have to do another one tomorrow. We could do another reaction stream tomorrow and try and catch up on stuff that's been posted. Cause yeah, I think I'm gonna have to head off, unfortunately. But before we go, I'm just gonna scroll up. Yeah, it's things might be not so good. I'm gonna have to follow up with this. I think it's best that I follow up this first. But anyway, if you're hanging out here and sorry, no, Andy, I've really got to get going. Something has come up. I'll do one tomorrow. We'll do one tomorrow, and we can watch. I can watch whatever you want me to watch tomorrow. I posted something on the Reddit. It's just a link to my post that I posted on Markiplier's thing. So this is the total views and stuff like that. I get to see that. If you haven't already, go over to this post on the Reddit. I'll actually go like this. Copy it. Paste it here. Go and upvote my post on Markiplier's subreddit. So maybe my game might be able to be seen. And maybe even played by Markiplier. Oh, tomorrow is the 4th of July. Oh. I see. It's not too late for us at all just yet. Yeah, I'll do another one tomorrow. We'll do some more reaction stuff. Yeah, fingers crossed this is just a little blip and nothing really comes of this, but this might be really serious. So I gotta get going. Thank you guys so much for joining me in the stream. Hopefully you guys had a good time, and hopefully you guys are having a good day or night. Yeah, if you can make it here tomorrow, then much appreciated. Otherwise, I'm sorry, you might have to just watch it after the fact if you really want to watch it. But yeah, thank you to Digits for making this VTuber avatar. I'll probably use it again in the future. I'll use it a few times because I don't want all that effort to go to waste. I want to use it a few more times because I like it. I think it's really neat. Yeah. You sure you'll be able to join? Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna run. I'll see you in the next stream, and I might be able to update you with what's going on. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. See you guys. Oh, I don't have hands. It's okay. I'm just gonna have to say goodbye. Bye. Bye, guys.